Okay.
Another thing with the structure, from one side, I really like this idea because it helps us to get some good fights and it helps us to get a new good contract. Because if a war deck will be about structures, we're getting many, many contracts saying, like, hey guys, we would like you to defend the structure or would like to pay you for removing the structures. That's fine. The only bad thing is that this new system for Dex makes being in NPC Corp completely useless. You don't have to be in NPC Corp. You just can join any corp which have no structures, and you are protected from the War Dex. And sometimes some people who are doing incursions and flying with shiny ships, and sometimes people who are just behaving not really well and saying like something like, hey pirates, we don't care about you, we are in corp, you cannot do anything to us, and something. So maybe that's no good. Maybe something could be done about this as well. But anyway, in general, we are okay with the structures.
Okay. Is there anything? Am I correct in assuming that one of the big issues is not being able to find where targets are online? So not just, I mean, obviously locator agents are a thing, but the old watch list, knowing who's online when, is that something you guys still want to come?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Oh, yeah, that was useful.
And it's not just helpful from the aggressor side, but I know in the past a lot of defenders use the watch list as well to be able to engage effectively on war decks.
I can agree with you because it's like this weapon can work both sides, for aggressor and for the defender. But still, I think it's real okay. Maybe you will not be able to see everybody in the game if they are online or not. But the thing is, if your corporation is engaged at war, maybe then you can be added to this list. Yeah,
Or
I think it's fine.
I don't know if this would be a good idea, but maybe a filter for local, especially when you're in Jita and places with tons of people for finding war targets.
Okay. That should be doable, I would think. Um,
Yeah, is there a way?
Yeah.
I see structures added to war targets. That's to locator agents is a good idea. That should be something added on here. Nikolai, your point about the watch list can be done well as in the old way without the old exploits. What were the old exploits? Can you remind me? Or can somebody remind me?
I was knowing when a super pilot was on, but is that relevant now?
Probably not as much. Um, I think the big thing, back then was just having the ability to see that they're online. And since the locator agent won't tell you whether somebody's online or not, having that ability to know that I think is important. Um, but do you think there's anything with the locator agents that should be changed? Are they useful? Do you guys use those often?
I mean, I used to use them a lot whenever we had a watch list, but whenever there's no watch list, they kind of are useless. Like if you don't know who you're searching for, like it's just dumb to go and have to search. One thing I would say though is like having a better UI would probably help around wars would help everyone. Like a lot of the people that I have killed at war would complain that they didn't know that they were at war. Like they would, bitch in local or in a private chat to me that like, how did you kill me? I don't understand what was happening because there's like no, it was like not obvious enough for them. And so maybe like a rework of all of that, like ground up, like so that targets know that they're at war and like what I don't know, they just didn't know. Like a lot of players would be like, I had no idea that you could kill me. You or like, good luck getting concorded, and I'm like, yeah, dude, you're at war, like, whatever.
Yeah, it is. I can agree to that because the thing is that yes, I get such convos as well. So I'm killing target and sometimes even a big target like freighter or something, and I have something. Hey guys, why you haven't been concorded? So what's wrong and something like that. Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
And this is maybe the issue because there are many players who just don't realize that this is a war deck or something, and they should avoid like some systems, or they should look for the local for wars or something. And after they being killed, they starting either rage quit the game, or running to the forum saying like, hey, fix the wars, blah blah blah, do this and this. Because the thing is, if you're really I have a tunes which are dealing with PvE as well, and somehow I managed to avoid the wars, either to staying in dock, or not flying in dangerous areas, or moving to another corpse, or doing something else. So, thing is, right now the game mechanic allows you to avoid wars completely with complete efficiency. So you can do it easily and you can avoid wars if you don't want to. But the problem is that the people, they either don't know about the mechanic or they don't care about it. And after that, they going to the forums and start crying like save us from a terrible War Decs.
Just need a better way of, I don't know, something with the notification or something. Big red letters, you're at war somewhere.
Yeah.
You mean
Well, I
Or-
mean, the mechanics aren't easy for people to figure out. Like for us that do it all the time, like I know when the war ends, I know the cooldown timer, I know all these things, and it's like pretty. I think it's pretty simple. But for your average like victim person, they're like, "Oh my god, what's happening? I don't understand how any of this works." And like now I'm dead. Like this is bullshit. You're cheating. You know, those kinds of things.
so? What you're saying is it's more of a learning curve, and people aren't being taught properly. Then.
I mean, that sounds like what I've heard as well. And I think one of the things that we had actually brought up to CCP at the last summit, and I think it's in the minutes, but I can't recall off the top of my head, was just having more information in a pop up or some kind of an explanation to the War Dec Corporation as to what this means beyond word has been declared and you can be attacked at any time. Just kind of a little more information, and I think hopefully that should be relatively easy for them to do. But we'll find out. I mean, we got to talk about it. But I absolutely agree with that. That's an issue, and I think that needs to be brought up because I think part of the reason why so many folks do get upset and do the log off thing is because they don't understand the mechanics and they don't take the time to go and look it up.
Yeah,
So that's
maybe
legitimate.
yeah.
maybe just have something like you have like a teaching campaign and something. I mean, this lady Aura, which I had so much because everybody when I'm making a new tune, it appears on my tune anyway. So maybe she can tell something like, hey, let's pretend you're flying a system and here's a war target. So what you're gonna do? Something maybe just a couple of missions which are showing like red things in local IO war decks and you have to avoid them or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree that you probably need something in the tutorial to explain wars, but to be honest, at the end of the day, with some of the people who I've flown with in the past, you need big red letters or something as you log in saying you are at war.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're just going to get lose ships pointlessly. Yeah.
Another issue is that you cannot see. You have no way to coordinate with allies when a big corp, like Pirates is blanket declaring wars. You have no way of seeing who they are at war against easily and coordinating with them.
Well, my suggestion there might be if you have something like a channel that's automatically created, if it's a
Yeah,
corp
something
pirate.
like that. Yeah.
I think personally the only biggest gripe I had about being involved in the same war with an ally, whatever it is, logistics, not being able to rep people that are focused against the same targets without going suspect.
Well, yeah, that would probably make sense to if pirate, for example, has got like 50 wars, make it easier for the targets, for example, to work together. Sorry,
To help each
I
other.
didn't mean
Yeah,
to point at pirate because it just
well, I mean,
Or even pirate themselves. I mean, let's say for some reason they're on this, they've War Dec the same target that Marmite somebody has, and they decide they're going to third party with each other or something. That ability to be able to effectively be able to use logistics when you're versus same targets. I don't know.
Yeah, I can agree with you. I think yes. I'm losing tutorial logist. Yeah, I have to admit.